Hi, my name is Mike Soderquist and I'm a cafe manager at 괌괌스타일 Neighbor Cafe. Today I want to talk about a couple things specifically about the schools and teachers and differences between Guam and Korea. So, as you know, like our cafe is all about Guam. It's actually an acronym for Study, Travel, Invest, Live, and English. But today, like I say, I want to talk just about the schools. So when we go to Guam, our managers, they're meeting with the schools. They're meeting with basically all the schools that accept international, short-term international students. So when we meet with those schools, we're not just meeting with, just doing a quick walkthrough or just kind of taking some pictures of the outside or something like that. We've met with basically all the schools several times. So what we do when we meet with them, and like I say, we met with them several different times, is we always want to sit down and talk with the administration, some of the teachers, find out more about the schools, find out more about the curriculum, policies, everything like that. So obviously things change a little bit between schools, and then they also change between the actual schooling and summer camps or camps. So that's why we like to meet on a regular basis with all the schools that we can. And when we're talking with them, we always ask them, what do you see with the Korean students? What can they prepare for? What can they do better? Or what do you see that they need to improve on before they get there? All those kind of questions to try and help, get people prepared and ready for actually going to school or camp. The one thing that they always suggest is, kind of obviously working on some cultural things, manners and etiquettes, saying please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, that kind of thing. And then the other thing too is that they're mentioning with some of the schools, depending on what the curriculum is, they really want you to have an emphasis on reading comprehension, not just reading, but reading comprehension, being able to understand what you're reading. So those are a couple of the main things that schools are looking for. But then the other thing too that you have to be aware of, or kind of cautious of too, is making sure that the student is ready to go on, because there are some kids that have had some issues where they just weren't quite ready to be in a classroom on their own with other American students. It's kind of a scary thing, if they're not very comfortable with that kind of environment. So it's one thing that you might want to, if you're going to go to Guam, you might want to start preparing here in Korea by trying to get your student more involved with other foreigners, with other activities or places that you can go, classes, anything you can do to kind of get them used to hearing English, being around people that speak English, being in an English environment. That anything like that can help. The other thing that's different between Guam or the mainland USA and here in Korea is, I'm going to speak in generalities now, but in general, American students or American kids are a little more independent, and obviously they can speak English, so they're able to communicate obviously better with the teachers. So if they don't understand something, or if they have to go to the bathroom, or if they're cold, or if they're hot or something like that, they can express that or those feelings to the teacher. Whereas, sometimes in Korea, or in Guam, the teachers and the Koreans and other students from, China and Japan also have some communication problems. So, you just gotta kind of practice that kind of stuff before you get there too, practicing those common sayings, just so they know and kind of get used to that. Great tool is YouTube. You can find all these kind of videos on YouTube. But then also too is, like I say, most American students are a little more independent. So what you're going to get with them is, compared to some of the Korean students, is because they don't understand or something like that, the teachers might come off seeming kind of cold, or they don't care, or maybe they don't understand. But in reality, that's just kind of just the culture, because they're so used to dealing with the kids that are a little more independent. So it's just one thing that you're going to have to get used to. I mean, it's one thing, to be honest with you, I had to get used to that kind of change here as well, because in my tutoring, you know, one thing that I've seen is you have to kind of, I mean, you can't really necessarily, you have to be, as a tutor, you really have to praise the kids and praise the parents and stuff like that. Whereas in a lot of cases from Westerners, they're a little more blunt, or they're a little more, you know, I wouldn't say honest, but they don't really know how to just kind of praise the kids like they should, I guess. But that's the one thing that you're gonna have to see, is that because the teachers are so used to the kids being more independent, they don't have you know, kind of like I don't want to say babysitter, but they're not going to coddle the kids as much. They're going to kind of expect the kids just kind of understand what they're saying, and that's it. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions on anything regarding this, just send a message or ask questions on the cafe, and hopefully either I can help you out or some of the other members can help you out answer any questions.